Hello everyone. Oh wait, that's the wrong overlay. Okay, hello everyone. It's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we're training 54 minutes as usual. Um, and yeah, we're going to be analyzing, continuing the analysis of my Chessmood games. And the reason why we might even do some shogi today is because I may or may not have a World Shogi League game tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And the reason why I say may or may not is because I've kind of had some miscommunication with my opponent, and I really have no idea what's happening with the match. But hopefully we get something sorted and arranged. And yeah, we'll see if that goes ahead. And if that is indeed the case, then I need to do some shogi tactics. Otherwise, I'm literally going to blunder a simple fork or something like this, and it's going to be a disaster. And actually, the team need me to win because it's currently 1-1. Let me share my screen. I can show you guys. But yeah, welcome Gloin to the stream. Glad to have you here. And yeah, how was your gym session the other day? Because yeah, I think you said you couldn't join because you were heading to the gym. But yeah, to show you, we're in Division D, Great Britain 2. And the first match, actually, you can see here, Clawmac is actually Natasha Reagan. So for any of you who know Natasha from the chess world, and you can see that Matthew Sadler is signed up for the team as well, although he's temporarily retired from shogi. And I realized why my eyes are hurting. It's because the brightness is way up. I guess changing the brightness on my screen doesn't change the brightness on your screen. That would be very weird if that was the case. It was good. Full body as always. Nice. Easy then. Yeah, I've never really gotten into gym properly. I mean, I think the longest I ever sustained it was for maybe 3-4 months at the max. And I think by the end of the 3-4 months, I was in really good shape, at least relatively speaking. But yeah, I never can stick to a gym. I mean, do you have any advice to? Wait, I'm trying to work out the aircon. Come on, you got this. Yes. Yeah. Do you have any advice for sticking with it? Because I mean, I find routine very difficult in general, and I wonder, Gloin, if you have any chess routines that you stick to as well. But yeah, I have so much respect for people who can actually keep up a routine like going to gym, because yeah, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I can't even keep up a routine with eating healthily and sleeping well. I can't keep up with any routine really. But yeah, basically it's all to play for in my match against Giant Blitz. So we will see if I can deliver and clutch the match for the team. Which probably means I should be sleeping soon. But okay, this is the one routine that I am able to follow. So here we are streaming on a Wednesday evening. And yeah, let's have a look at some more analysis. So this game, I managed to beat a 2600 in Blitz. So we'll take that. At least I thought I did. Have we already analyzed it? Oh, I guess. Oh yeah, exactly. We're here. So 2600. I managed to win this. This one was a Benoni game. So let's see what we can learn. So I seem to remember I did mess up at some point in this Benoni. I do remember it was a Benoni. It was a G3 Benoni. And yeah, he basically allowed me to get in B5. I think this was a mistake from him, but I didn't berserk and they did. So they had to play very quickly. And I don't think they were expecting me to play A6. So I managed to get in a free B5. The event goes A4. I'm glad I met it with B4, which is correct. Knight B1, and already I have an advantage. So this is very nice. And looks like I could be playing with A5 immediately. That's interesting. If I don't play with A5, it's not the fact that white is playing with A5. So why is it so keen for me to play with A5 right now? Maybe it's the fact that, yeah, I was just about to say bishop A6 is probably quite a useful move. And if you can play it maybe before white has had time to push E4, then maybe that's something really good. Like here, for instance. Maybe A5 I guess they can... Wow, they can play e4 and sack the pawn because my king is in the center, I see. So then at this moment, why is a5 so good? Oh, okay, the engine evaluation is coming down. I thought I saw like minus 0.9 or something, like a clear favorite, but I guess not. I think I do end up playing... wow, this is that bad? Yeah, this was that bad. Yeah, I missed that. So, I guess something to note then. I guess I'm not so used to actually the knight still being on b1 and having this quick jump to c4. Yeah, I was just a bit slow for this. But yeah, had I played like queen c7 first, then probably I'm in time to deal with this. Like I can... Oh, it's even... Yeah, knight e8, for instance, is possible. But somehow by playing knight d7 first, then I don't have this option. I don't have this option to play knight e8, and I don't have this option to play rook d8. I just got a challenge from Mittens. That is very tempting, actually. But I think I'm going to stick to this analysis. Like, I want to understand more about my chess. Also, let me reply to Gloin's messages. Thanks for the detailed reply, Gloin. So, Gloin says, so this is in regard to how to maintain a steady gym routine, like a physical gym routine. So, Gloin says, find a routine that you can stick to, not necessarily for complicated exercises, but the ones that target desired muscles that you enjoy. 45 to 60 minutes per session is perfectly fine. Log every workout you do so you know how you performed last session and try to break that record. Yeah, that is something I did when I did go gym several years ago. Hitting a personal record is a dopamine boost. Nice. Just don't sacrifice your form while performing the exercise just so you can say you did one more repetition than last time. Slow down on the way up and down during the exercise. Don't rush them. That's very, very, very good advice. Really, really like that. I think for me... So let me try and think. Why am I not going to gym? Because it's actually something I want to do. I actually want to get fitter, look healthier. Why do I not want to? I guess for me, probably the biggest reason why I'm not going to gym is, for me, it kind of feels like it needs to be a full mindset shift and approach to the way I'm living life right now. In the sense that, like, if I'm going to go to gym, then I need to at least be disciplined to eat enough. Otherwise, what's the point of, trying to build muscle when you're not eating enough? And, there's no point, working on my diet and working on gym if I'm not going to sleep well. So basically, it's like right now I'm not doing anything and I'm just letting it all slip, which then I'm kind of fine with, because I've basically lowered my expectations to basically, not have anything kind of under control. Whereas if I start working on these things, then I kind of need to stick to more things. So it's kind of like a bigger deal than just showing up and doing that 45 1-hour-minute session and then just leaving. Because actually, I'm in a very privileged situation right now where I literally have a gym in my building, and I don't go. So yeah, it's maybe I need more convincing, I think. Physical health also helps the brain. Oh, definitely. But I don't know. Like today I actually, for the first time in a long while, I actually slept on time. I woke up in the morning. So that's amazing for me. I woke up at 9 a.m. or something. And I had a pretty productive day. I did some Chessable stuff. I replied to various people that I've kind of been putting off because they kind of require some thought to the reply. So like, I kind of saved up these messages to reply to. And yeah, I didn't have any chess lessons today, actually. This was a unexpected day off. So that was good. And I also booked some travel stuff. But somehow that consumed my entire day. I mean, I also had a pretty cool moment where I was playing the piano in a train station. And I actually got approached by a guy who really, really liked the composer that I was playing, and we had a great chat about it and shared some contact details and spoke some more classical music, and I guess that led to me listening to some more classical music today. So a pretty random day, all things considered, but somehow that, like, it's already like almost 2 a.m. I don't know what I've done today. Like, it literally takes me so long to like just do the simplest of things. But yeah, welcome Oliver to the stream. Oliver, which Oliver could this be? Is there a shogi Oliver that I know? I'm not even sure. But yeah, shogi today. Probably at the end of the stream I'll do some tactics before I sleep. Hopefully it has some effect for my game tomorrow, which may or may not even go ahead. Having a friend to go with helps with sticking to the gym. That's a very fair point as well. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If I had a friend to go with who was like really dedicated, I think that would be motivation, and that is actually why I even went for 3 or 4 months back in my 3rd year of university, because yeah, I had a friend who I was gymming with, and yeah, I mean, if he's gonna show up, then I kind of need to show up as well, right? So that's a good hack to force yourself to go. Eventually, going to the gym becomes a routine, and you feel guilty for trying to skip it. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. I think with all established routines, that's exactly how it feels. And I think definitely like this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, although I'm procrastinating a lot with my conversation right now, yeah, like I feel like I'm sticking to this routine fairly well. Like the only times I'm missing it recently is when I genuinely just forget. Yeah. I have no excuse not to go because the gym is next to my workplace. Nice. And a C3 kitty cat from Jan. Yes, I've been bothering Jan to go check out my course because I actually think it will do him good. So yeah, we'll see if Jan pulls through with that. I genuinely don't recommend my course to many people because I don't think it's going to necessarily be a good fit. But if it's a good fit, then you just need to get it. But yeah, so this is interesting to see this knight b1, knight c4 unexpectedly jump in, and then bishop f4 comes with quite a lot of speed. I'm like one move too slow from being able to meet bishop f4 with knight e5. And yeah, suddenly I have some problems. Huh. Wow, I've got the move g5 here. So I was looking at the engine analysis, and I was like, why is bishop takes +3 when this is just going to transpose to the same thing? But the point is, on knight takes, I have g5. Oh, that's so cool, because then I can keep the structure intact. Wow. As a last-ditch resource, this is cool. Yeah, this basically means I can keep the structure intact. Because either they save the knight somehow, and I win the bishop, or they take the pawn, and then I can take the bishop. That's crazy, bro. I mean, just to weaken the king like this, just to keep the Benoni structure. But I guess the fact is that the king's actually quite safe. Like, after you play f5, like, you can kind of just tuck the king away on h8, and somehow it doesn't seem that awful. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, where is white's play? Because black's got the queenside majority. White no longer has any play with e4, e5. So what is white actually doing? Like, they're a pretty pawn up, but not much to do. So yeah, that's a very cool resource. I'm so confused. there is a difference. If I took with the pawn, which I did, then I do keep my dark squared bishop. And you see that the difference is only plus 1.7. But here, if they took with the bishop and got the same position without these bishops, it's suddenly plus 4. Oh, because this is coming all with tempo, I see. Yeah, well, I see. So somehow, yeah, I get the tempo back. Right, that's the difference. And although, like, I'm still losing a rook, at least I get a piece for it. But in the other line, I'm actually losing a whole rook. So loses a whole rook. That's the difference. Yeah, I'm not sure I even quite understood that. But yeah, I need to be extremely careful then with this knight c4, bishop f4 motif when there's a fianchetto on the board, because then I've got even more problems to deal with if they do get in d6. So yeah, we got this, but actually, yeah, it turns out that after I take on b2, then I'm even better, despite being down the exchange. Bishop e5 is preferred to both defend f4 and pick up d6, makes sense. Bishop d4, I just thought, like, I'll put it on a sticky square and block the queen so I can take the pawn. But I did realize that, you know, taking the pawn might be a bit risky, given that white has e3 ideas. So I think I didn't take the pawn. I first just played some improving moves. Yeah, and I didn't mind trading queens at all. I felt like, actually, given the time situation and that they don't have increment, I can play this a bit more confidently, a bit more quickly, and put the pressure on the clock. So, oh, I didn't win d6 at all, I guess. But I did win it this way, right? Like, he blundered bishop d2. Like, he was trying to play a bit too quickly and blundered this. And then I was able to push my queenside majority. And then he blundered this as well. So I won all of his pawns. He then tries the dynamic move of sacrificing a rook, but it's not very good. Yeah, this was actually a very clever idea, trying to provoke me to take, because then it's like actually very unclear if I've got any advantage. Like, suddenly it's opposite colored bishops. So I just had to slow down here and make sure that I can actually sacrifice my rook. And yeah, this is just completely winning. I pick up the rook. Yeah, so in the end, a quite nice finish, but yeah, really interesting to see how quickly this went badly for me. So knight b6 was fine. I just had to be very precise here. Yeah, which is fair enough. Okay, I'll just put be very aware that if knight c4 plus bishop f4 comes when we're unprepared, we can be in serious trouble. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest take-home message from this game. I mean, it's not very theoretically interesting because my opponent allowed me to get in b5, which is extremely rare. But yeah, good to be reminded that, yeah, this can really go wrong very quickly if I'm not careful. And yeah, g5 was a very cute last-ditch defense, which maybe one day will come in handy. So okay, this was nice, and let's move on to the next game. Damn, at this point in the tournament, I'd already dropped 100 points. Seriously? Oh no, I was already at 24-18. Yeah, I forgot that I dropped so low. Okay, let me check out chat. Bro is beating FM's a 2000 FIDE. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that my opponent berserked and I didn't. That's probably the main reason. Jan will yawn. Nah, I think you'll find it entertaining. I don't believe it. I think there's a nice quote by Jan Marcos actually, 2600 Slovenian player, who basically said like the day you mature as a chess player is the day that you look at an exchange of pieces with as much delight as a piece sacrifice, and that's really cool. I think that's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, let's have a look. So we get some c3. We get a copycat variation, except now, yeah, maybe if I like this copycat variation so much, I should probably provoke. I should provoke e3 so that when I play queen b3, they're more tempted to play queen b6, which is the more natural move. But I'm very comfortable in these lines, where we get this symmetrical position, and I can outplay them with this knight h4. But yeah, queen c8, it's like still fine, and probably I want to break with c4 at some point to exploit the queen's bad position on c8. But let's see. So I develop. And yeah, Engine likes taking on d6. In general, I'm not the biggest fan. Although when I take on d6, I do like to follow up with c4. And given that the queen is on c8, maybe this actually comes hand in hand. So maybe, yeah, if I can play c4 right away, then definitely consider bishop takes d6. I mean, if I don't get to play c4, then I'm not very happy about how black can play like a minority attack against my pawns, and also can potentially play in the center with e5. But c4 is a move that I really like when I can just get it in immediately. If they take... Wow, taking with the knight, and already this is like a big problem. Yeah, with this. Okay, this is really good to see. I'm glad I've reminded myself not to automatically assume that bishop takes d6 is something I don't want. So, yeah, this is really nice. Okay, so bishop d6 was played. In general, I don't mind the structure, even though the engine doesn't like it. I can play g3 here, and I can plant a knight on e5, or I can plant a knight on e5 and even start some kind of big attack on the king. So what did I go for? I went knight e5 and bishop e2, c5, and yeah, I decided to just go all in with this plan of f3. Not quite working objectively speaking, but practically it was a decent try, I think. Yeah, this is a bit of a cheeky trick, just to say that I want to play g4 and trap the bishop, although I am realizing there is bishop c2, so it's not completely trapped. But in any case, I get the h6 provocation. And yeah, I thought g5 can be met with h5, that's why I started with h5 first. But apparently this is somewhat favorable. h5 feels right to me, but apparently my structure can be undermined with f6. Which I have the feeling happened in either another Blitz game or maybe a game more recently than this, where I played this idea to storm the kingside, and somehow f6 came at a really good time and yeah, really gave me some problems. Actually, it was this game. Yeah, you can see f6 was played a few moves later. So let's see how this went. Yeah, I even played king f2. I mean, I think this was even making f6 stronger. But we traded queens. f6 comes. I played f4. Yeah, somehow this still felt alright. Wow, the engine's top line is to play rook c1, and after rook c8 play king e3. That's a very brave move to play. Yeah, that's really brave. And if they take on d4, the king just chills in the center of the board like this. I mean, it's a diagonal away from the knight, it's on the opposite color to the bishop, and these squares are very well covered. So I guess it does make some sense. But still, that's very, very brave. Let's put it that way. I mean, if I was a shogi player, I'd play this with no hesitation and be like, yeah, there's no attack. But, alas. Wow, g5 is even possible. I mean, I think I was considering g5 in the game and just thinking, nah, it's too much. But let's say the king moves out of the way. Wow, bishop g4. That's definitely a move that did not cross my mind during the game. I remember just seeing that, like, yeah, there's a reveal, the bishop is pressuring it, I thought this is just over, but yeah, actually these pawns are pretty strong. And somehow my pieces are working pretty well to come up with a plan. So, yeah, that's interesting to see. Instead, I thought that these pawns are just going to have to stay closed, and I decided to use it as just some shelter for my king. But I guess, yeah, pushing g5 was the better way to do it. Or better way to go. Yeah, so I allowed my weakening of the pawn structure, but I thought actually, you know, the way I limit this knight, I thought it might be worth it. But yeah, engine really dislikes that. I guess we are getting closer to an endgame. So, a better way to limit the knight and not ruin my pawn structure. So, yeah, I think this was maybe a bit too keen. Yeah, and apparently my position's very bad right now. Man, I thought this exchange was in my favor, I think, trading off the rooks. Although I don't remember now. It's been a while. H6. Wow, he's finding all of his top moves. That's pretty impressive. But he finally blunders here. Wow. But I guess it doesn't matter. Like, I've only got 4 seconds on the clock. Did I have increment? Oh, I did have increment. So maybe at this point he should slow down. I mean, this is the general rule, right? Like, even if you're up on the clock, you should generally slow down if you feel like you've got a winning position. I mean, it's just more important you just make sure you win the game. And you will if you maintain your objective advantage. But instead, I guess he tries to flank me and blitz me, which allows me to get my king back. And we get this interesting position. But yeah, I seem to remember I was very disappointed about throwing this, but I guess actually my position was still difficult, despite being down in material. But actually now I've saved the game. Oh, and I messed up here? Yeah, okay, this is actually very difficult though. What am I supposed to play? Like bishop f5? Guess it makes sense. Given that my king cannot, you know, help out any further, probably it's time to try and bring the bishop back to cover some light squares. Yeah, this is the problem. I dropped the b pawn. Yeah, so I should have just yeah, brought my bishop back here. Yeah, so this loses the b pawn by force. Yeah, which is an easy thing to miss when you're really short on time. And credit to my opponent for finding knight c5. That's a nice move. So yeah, I blundered a pawn, and then I think it's lost. But maybe he made it a little bit more work for himself by allowing me to get in the corner, but... Yeah, and I had some stale matrix. I'm just making sure that I didn't accidentally blunder a draw. But yeah, he managed to finally get him b3, which was what he was aiming for. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice finish from my opponent. Yeah, so what can we learn here? First of all, taking on d6 and playing for c4 is very good, especially when the queen is on c8. Especially when queen c8 has been played. Yeah. I'll put be careful with structure being undermined. So actually, Ben, I'm curious, like when I play this knight e5, I mean, how do I deal with this knight to d7? I mean, am I supposed to drop back with a knight or something? Maybe I cannot allow this knight takes e5. But then again, according to Engine, all of the suggestions are just allowing knight takes e5. So c5. If we just castle. If knight d7, then apparently there's maybe taking on e5 isn't the problem. But I didn't like how my structure was getting undermined with f6. That's the problem. Like, I don't like how f6 is so good here. So if I just castle... Ah, wait, was I able to meet f6 with f4? I could. So why is this such a big deal? Maybe this structure is just very weak, but compared to if we look at this position, if they try and play f6 soon, I don't know what we play. If we play rook ae1 and they play f6, we can meet with f4, and this is a better scenario with the pawns still on g2 and h2. But even taking is fine. Yeah. So I guess these pawn pushes are maybe like just a bit too weakening, given f6 is possible. Structure being undermined. Therefore, pushing g and h pawns might be too optimistic. Yeah. So maybe this whole plan with knight e5 is just a bit wrong. I'll put dubious. Also, I realize, guys, I'm actually extremely tired. I think it's because, like, you know, I've had such a full day. Like, I really did sleep, you know, pretty early last night, like around midnight, I think. So I really had like a long day. So right now, like, I should be asleep. So I might even end the stream a little early, but we'll see. Yeah, so this is probably the safer way to play after e takes f4 structure is established. Yeah. Yeah, some food for thought there with knight e5. I think I'm just going to play it a little bit more and experiment. I mean, in online chess, you can do a lot of experimenting and get a vibe check of like, you know, is it working or not, right? But yeah, in the end, yeah, I get this undermining, which I think was you know a good idea from the opponent. Yeah, somehow I didn't evaluate how bad my endgame prospects would be at this moment, and maybe I should have evaluated it more. Like, I think these pawns are definitely healthier than this pawn structure, and now I've just weakened my pawn structure more. So it makes sense that black has the chance to push for the win if we do enter an endgame. But yeah, interesting game. And one of the very big take-home messages was in the opening. If I have this chance to play bishop takes d6 with the queen on c8, where I want to play c4 anyway, it's like almost like, yeah, an absolute case of like, yeah, this is definitely a good time to take on d6 and play c4. So I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, in future. Okay then. So maybe I'll try and squeeze in one last game, and then we'll do some shogi tactics to finish. So yeah, we had one more c3 Venom. It's nice that I don't have to check if I was black or white, because, you know, who else is going to be playing c3 except for Jan, who is gonna try c3 Venom. Yeah, so my opponent plays the early bishop f5 move order, which is extremely rare. Normally, black is just developing both knights and then playing bishop f5. So the subtleties are something actually still I haven't looked into so much. So maybe now is a good time. I mean, the thing is, if I'm going to look into bishop f5 here, I should also be careful to look into knight f6, bishop f5, and see what differences this brings. Because I remember that I had a classical game where Jai Kofari played with knight f6, bishop f5, and I remember checking afterwards that the engine liked d takes c5, which is kind of playing like a reverse Slav position, which I haven't really looked into. But, you know, c3 Venom also has this potential to play reverse Slav. But yeah, I've kind of forgotten all of the analysis of this d takes c5, because it's just so rare that you see players play with early bishop f5 before developing both knights. But yeah, interesting here to see that with knight c6 bishop f5, there's actually no d takes c5 with advantage. So in this position, I just played knight d2, giving black another chance to play knight f6. But it's good to see that queen b3 is a legit way to meet bishop f5, which is my rule in my c3 Venom course, that you always meet bishop f5 with queen b3. Now, the reason why I didn't play it here was because I think knight d2 is also very reasonable, given that if knight f6, the most natural move, now we do get to a direct transposition on my lines, and being in a position of familiarity is often more important than being slightly, you know, more objectively strong. Like, having a zeros position here, I'm much happier than having maybe a plus 0.1 position here. Like, these values are not as important as experience and familiarity. So, yeah. I'll give this the exclam. So queen b6 was played, so still delaying knight f6, in which I met it with queen b3. And yeah, this is another rule in c3 Venom, that when black hasn't played with knight f6, I can take on b6 and play with this e4. So we should never take on b6 when we cannot follow up with this immediate e4. Otherwise, yeah, I feel like these kind of positions are just generally a bit worse for white. I mean, as you can see here, yeah, any other moves, black is just playing b5 and gets this pressure on the queen side, and we eventually have to play for e4, but it's like not as good as when you can play it immediately, because once black plays b5, then the c4 pawn is strengthened. Whereas if you play e4 now, the point is we can take on c4, right? So this is very nice. So I'll just put nice, remembering the rule that we can capture on b6 and follow up with the immediate e4, given black has not played knight f6. And it's funny actually, because in this line, I remember playing a match for Liverpool, and I was there board 1, and I looked on board 2, and I saw that on board 2 they had actually gotten this exact theme of taking on b6 and playing for the immediate e4. But unfortunately, my teammate did not know this rule. So they just kind of played like knight f3 or something. And I mean, in fairness to her, she ended up winning the game. But I was kind of cringing a bit. I was like, damn, if only she had studied her lines, she'd know that e4 is the way to go in such positions. So it's like, even though I hadn't seen this exact position, I knew that this motif exists, and it's even good. So, yeah. How many positions are you getting plus 1.8 out of the first 9 moves, Jan? How robust is your d4 repertoire after all? Because this is what you can do with c3 Venom. And I'm gonna keep promoting this to you until you get the course. So I think you've got no choice really. I mean, for anyone who's watching the stream, I have offered Jan the full disclosure of being able to refund the course if it doesn't meet my extremely high expectations. So yeah, like I'm not forcing Jan to dish out his money to pay for it. I genuinely just think it's a really good match. The more I think about it. But yeah, did I lose this game? I did lose this game. So let's find out how I lost this game. Yeah, I just win a pawn as well, as you do. And I even get the trade, but apparently that's not what the engine wants. So what does the engine want here? Just wants me to develop. I mean, bishop c4 feels like a wrong move to play, given I'm restricting the flexibility of this knight. Why is it like this bishop c4 so much? It also likes knight e2, knight g3, which I can also get behind. What is up with this bishop c4? I guess the point is the knight can't be attacked immediately. So maybe there's time to like move the bishop back to b3, but I still don't really see the point. Let's say they just develop. Just develop knight e2. And just play for a4, b4. Not sure I completely follow. Like, I guess what I can see is how the knight is actually maybe a bit annoying on b6. So yeah. So I'll just write. Perhaps the knight can be quite a pawn, quite a stable pawn on b6. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe not so much a need to trade off this knight. I think I just felt that the knight was like maybe a bit too vulnerable, but I do get the bishop pair this way. And this is actually all top move to play like bishop a3 and king d7, which is promising to see. King d2, I mean. Now I develop my pieces. Yeah, playing a dynamic move here is definitely the way to go. Defending g2 is a bit lame, but I didn't really see a good dynamic move. I mean, how are we able to just play like rook e1 without a care in the world? Like, what if they take? I sack the exchange? Seriously? Rook e4? That's wild. And what if they just like retreat their knight somewhere? Knight d6 and I'm winning. Oh, I've even got rook g1. Wow. Okay. I mean, this is really tough to see, actually. I wonder if someone could find this line on an intuitive basis as well. I mean, if you're constantly looking to take the initiative, then it is definitely a move you could find. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, my laptop has been suffering from a stroke today. I've been using it too much. Initiative. Also, I'm gonna get a little snack to wake up because I'm actually really falling asleep right now. Give me a sec. Yeah. So, okay, I played rook g1 instead. Supposed to play with bishop b3 already. I mean, it's so weird to see this line because I literally end up taking the knight anyway on d5. So why am I spending a tempo going back? And that's the reason. Basically, black just attacks me with tempo. Wow, it's such a big difference. Like, black is just too slow to play knight a5. Right. Black is too slow for knight a5. We take the initiative. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess if I'd seen their idea of knight b6 and knight a5 to bring a knight to c4, then I could avoid this, but also very difficult to spot in a short time control game. Yeah, so I ended up dropping a pawn. This was a nice maneuver. I guess I should watch out for it. Oh, and also sorry, Lepus, for missing your comment. I briefly saw a new comment and then forgot about it. As I said, like I'm very sleepy. So yeah, thank you for the comment. You said you discovered my channel a few days ago because of shogi. Now I'm staying for everything. You're really good and charismatic. Appreciate the support. I definitely don't always feel that way, so I appreciate the kind words. I say, eating the Kit Kat like an absolute degenerate. But, you know, it's vibes. It's vibes. But yeah, we will do some shogi at the end of the stream. just to get a reminder of some tactics in play. Lepus, would you say you're more of a shogi player or a chess player, actually? The problem with refund policies is that I always miss the refund window and lose the money anyway. Yeah, to be honest, I always have problems with refunds as well. And I mean, I remember there's another chess website called the Chess World, where they also offer like a 30-day money back guarantee. And I remember triggering it because I didn't vibe with a course, and they literally just sent me a voucher to use on the website. I didn't even get the money back. So I was like, that's just brilliant. I'm pretty sure Chessable actually sends you the money back, if I'm not mistaken, but probably should double check on that. I mean, if they just send you a voucher, that's a bit of a piss take as well. Having said that, I ended up using the voucher after like 2 years, so that was nice at least. %0 chance he's still here for Leopard Zero. I wouldn't say zero. I'm gonna give 100% chance that Lepus is still here. I have the faith in Lepus. Shogi players are loyal, unlike chess players. Disgusting chess players. I hate them. Hate them all. But yeah, what ended up happening? Yeah, Jan, you are one of my biggest fans. I mean, you did get the mod role after all. I mean, that really requires some dedication. There we go. Lepus is still in the stream. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Shogi man never disappoints. I never lost faith in you for 1 second, Lepus. So yeah, what did you say? Chess right now, but I want to learn how to play shogi. That's why I discovered your channel. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I had a big shogi phase when I was really upset with my chess, and I played it quite seriously, actually, training every day on Twitch, actually. So that kind of got me back into streaming. So I was streaming shogi before chess, actually. And yeah, I was doing it every day because it was pandemic and I had nothing better to do. And I guess since then, I've established quite a few connections within the shogi world, and that's why I've even got a shogi match tomorrow, potentially. But yeah, you should if you're in the UK, I don't know if you are, you should definitely check out the Team GB squad. I mean, I don't know if they're still organizing it, but they used to do like Saturday Lee shogi meetups. Just like a little tournament every Saturday at like 11 a.m. UTC. I can. There's a Discord for the British shogi group as well. I can send you these details if you're curious. But yeah, I actually first started shogi actually through Lee Shogi. I saw like a Twitter post about it, and I just joined, and then I met. The first opponent I played was a guy from Malaysia, who was very big in like online shogi development, and I ended up meeting him. So that's cool because I'm currently in Malaysia. So yeah, it's like a whole journey, I'd say. Yeah, so okay, in fairness, that is true. Factually correct, I have been streaming chess for longer, but my early streams on Chess Scrubs, I had to do all offline because my internet was so bad at home that whenever I tried to stream on Twitch, it literally would not be possible. It would be lagging to the point where it's just unwatchable. And I swear to God, like if I actually had good internet, I could actually be a pretty big chess personality right now, I think, because I was literally streaming on Twitch at the same time when Chessbra and all of these kind of like OG streams were starting out. Like Bota's sisters, even, like I think I was before them. Like for real, like I would have been like the only British content creator doing chess back then. And who knows what would have happened, but I literally had the worst internet. I just couldn't make content. So yeah. From Latin America. That's interesting because I know like there are some pretty big Latin America hubs for shogi. So like somehow in Brazil, like shogi is just like kind of a thing. I guess like maybe they have like a pretty decently sized Japanese population. So maybe that's why it kind of grows. But yeah, cool that you're curious. And yeah, somehow I managed to choke this game still. I mean, my position's definitely not that comfortable. I take the wrong pawn here. I mean, this feels good to me in the sense that I should be able to win back the pawn, but I guess I wasn't able to. I mean, he's got very precise f5 here, or h5 to cover this move, and I guess then if, the f3 pawn stays, then that's actually a pretty strong pawn. So this is actually only good if I'm winning the f3 pawn by force. Therefore, it's risky to play this based purely on intuition. Yeah, that's my feeling about this rook takes e6. Maybe this is just the safer bet. Yeah, but as you can see, like this is only plus 0.3, whereas the position I got, this is plus 0.5, right? So if I could get away with winning the pawn and winning this pawn, then this is the better move. But yeah, it turns out that technically I shouldn't have been able to get away with it. But somehow I managed to lose this position. Like, how? Like, we're literally playing with increments. So how on earth did I mess this up? I should just play king b3, king b4, take the pawn. But instead I try and play with the rook. Does that make sense? I mean, in this position, in rook endgames, typically you want to activate the rook as the priority. But in rook endgames where you're dealing with passed pawns, then it's actually the priority to use your king to support the passed pawn and your rook to defend against your opponent's passed pawn. And given my rook is actually doing some defensive duties against this passed pawn, it's really my king that should be actually taking the pawn and supporting this passed pawn. But yeah, I guess it's difficult to find all this. Yeah, I guess rook e5 is maybe just not as active as I thought. Yeah, and this passed pawn basically just gets rolling. Yeah, so this is actually a very interesting case. Okay, so an interesting case of king activity over rook activity in a rook endgame, specifically due to both sides having passed pawns and requiring the king to support our passed pawns. Perhaps one can argue the rook is already well placed and active. So yeah, I think it's very easy just to intuitively play with rook e5, rook b5, which is exactly why in endgames you need to think schematically and understand what is the correct plan, as opposed to just, blitzing out what feels right. I mean, you can go a lot wrong with feeling in endgames, but yeah, I guess this way I actually managed to cut off the king. And probably he should go back, because if I actually just start pushing my pawn, then he can actually involve his king again. So, yeah, that's probably his better bet. But instead he goes this way. And God, what is rook g7? Interestingly, I'm not in time to push my own pawn, but apparently c4 is the idea that we want to get back this way? No. Because h4 already, so what is the point? d5. Don't really understand. King c3. Okay. So I guess like, yeah, my rook gets back. Rook b1 and rook h1. So rook g7 is the right idea, but this is a more efficient way of bringing the rook back to h1. Because basically I gain a couple more tempi for improving my pieces, and apparently this is actually enough to be winning. Because I mean, after all, I am up 2 pawns, which is pretty significant, but yeah. The problem is, despite being up 2 pawns, my opponent has active rook and active king, and as we should know, in rook endgames, active rook and active king are more important than material in many cases. So, yeah, this is all really nice from the opponent. Active king and active rook playing a greater role than my 2-pawn advantage. Yeah, I find this very interesting. I see a lot of messages in chat, so let me catch up. You would have coached Tubbo for PogChamps? Who knows? Maybe I would have. I don't know who Tubbo is, but I might have been involved with PogChamps. Honestly, life would be very different right now. But at the same time, I don't think I would be like that good as like a super popular, famous chess influencer. I mean, I might be alright, but I don't think like I would really be fully comfortable with it. Like, I think I'm much happier being like a niche kind of chess influencer. Let's consider myself that. Yeah, I think with fame comes responsibility, and that's just, I don't want to be responsible. I like to be immature. So, yeah, that's it's probably a good thing overall. I mean, having said that, maybe the stability, like life-wise, if I'm making a lot of money from it, but I also don't know how stable like having a big following really is. It's tough to say. Exactly. I would have made that amazing video on how to play shogi, so then, you know, you wouldn't be here now, I wouldn't be here. You know, I'm happy with how life is playing out, so, you know, like, definitely no regrets or something. I mean, I had no choice anyway. I was living with my family. I mean, I was a kid of like 16, and yeah, I didn't have good internet, so what to do? But yeah, interestingly enough, we now reach a position where both of us are, you know, playing this principally. My king is supporting my pass pawn, my rook is dealing with their pass pawn, their rook is dealing with mine, their king is supporting their own. But somehow, I lost on time in this game. Oh dear. What is this move? What is going on? How did I blunder this? I mean, I realized that, you know, I played this tournament at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I was also sick, right? I was really ill. So I guess I should, you know, understand the fact that, like, I could blunder this. But with increment, I mean, this is just absolutely disgusting. I had increment, right? Oh, I didn't have increment. Oh, I didn't have increment. No wonder then. Okay. But yeah, then... Okay, actually this was pretty well played for a game without increment. But But yeah, the fact that I have 5 seconds on the clock and my opponent has 3 seconds is kind of disgusting that I flag here. I mean, yeah, I literally flag in this position. I mean, that's... Yeah, and I remember actually this was the game where I was like complaining about the fact that my hand was literally just not able to move fast enough, because I think at this point I hadn't played any bullet chess for like several weeks. So yeah, I mean, okay. Then yeah, it happens. But on the whole, okay. I mean, interesting to see this endgame motif of the king being more important than the rook. This endgame exception. What was this moment? Oh yeah, it's a moment to take the initiative, but this is like, I don't know, it's really tough for me to follow through with, I think. Yeah, bishop b3 was a nice prophylactic move. And yeah, I got reminded in the opening that actually, yeah, we understand this c3 Venom very well. Where we can meet this early queen, bishop f5, queen b6 in this way. I mean, this was exactly how I'd want to play it again. So this is good. Yeah. I'll just write with an early bishop f5 with knight f6 as opposed to knight c6. This is where we have the engine favored d takes c5. So this is where I have a slight advantage, but to be honest, I really struggle to remember like all of the subtleties here. I mean, if they play knight c6 trying to play for e5, what is my point? I play knight f3? Yeah, right. So long as you can prevent black playing e5, we're doing all right. And if they play g6 to try and play for this, we don't play for b4, where the diagonal is weakened. But we instead play for b4. Actually so cooked right now. Actually play for knight d4. Yeah. So knight d4, if they go with... No, their bishop's being hit. Maybe they don't want to trade that. Maybe they don't mind though. Looks like they don't mind. But if we take, why is this so good for us? Knight d2. Here they can play e5. I mean, I'm not completely convinced that this is really plus 1.2. How does this work? Like if they push e4? So they can even win back the pawn, but apparently this is a +1 position. I mean, I do like the fact that I have this backwards pawn to play against. But still somewhat surprising to me that this is actually +1. I mean, it's not far from a Garganitsa position. You just put g3, h4, put the king on g2, and this is a Garganitsa. But yeah, I can kind of believe that. It looks nice. Yeah, it's one of these moves that I don't know if I'd play it, because I haven't really studied it properly. But maybe it's worth it. Like, black can't play with e5, so it does make sense. Yeah, and interesting, after e6, then b4 is playable. Because no longer is probably g6 a viable option, given that you've got all these weaknesses. It's probably just a bit too slow as well. Yeah, I mean, also maybe the bishop is a target as well. Like, it's got less room to run. Yeah, interesting. Also, welcome Sapsara to the stream. Yeah, sorry for not saying hi. As I've said repeatedly the stream, I'm extremely tired. So, yeah, apologies for that. Tabo got you into chess in 2021. Don't tell me you've only been playing since 2021. I always assumed that you've been playing for much longer. Have you really just been playing since 2021? That's pretty incredible if that's the case. Lepus asks a question. Okay, actually, I wanted to ask for some advice. How to start with shogi? All I know is your videos right now. Funny thing is, I'm starting to learn how to play chess again. I used to play in tournaments when I was a child, but I then lost the biggest game in my life and decided chess wasn't for me. That's really interesting. I mean, I've heard this backstory actually several times from other people I've met. Yeah, chess is like a really, really hard-hitting game, and actually I also quit chess for like 6 months to pursue shogi, but not because I wanted to pursue shogi, also because I had a very hard-hitting game that kind of just made me feel like, yeah, I am just completely hopeless at this, like why am I even bothering? And I mean, I was also getting lots of negative vibes from chess in general at the time. So yeah, I can relate. But okay, to answer your question about shogi, I would say that you need to join the Shogi Harbor Discord. I mean, I probably mentioned this in my videos already, but if you want motivation to play, I mean, it's a bit like how Gloin at the start of the stream mentioned that, like, yeah, if you want to commit to going to gym, then you need to have like a friend. Well, you don't need to, but it helps to have a friend to go with you as motivation. And Shogi Harbor is just such an amazing community in and of itself, but you know, especially for shogi, like it's great motivation. So just join the harbor, get involved, and yeah, you'll end up playing more. I mean, there are some internal tournaments you can just participate in, which are like once a week, like matches that are very flexible, and you organize with your opponent, and it's just a real vibe. Probably the next step once you get good enough would be to try and join the World Shogi League, which I will come to very soon. I mean, we have finished analyzing this game now, so I'll summarize it and then we'll do some shogi. Yeah, the World Shogi League is a chess league where you can actually represent your country, which is very cool. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And Lepus, you say it's been 5 years for you now. Since you quit and now getting back into it. I mean, for me, I only quit for 6 months because, I mean, at that point I was already a pretty established player and I was extremely deeply embedded within the chess society and chess community. And yeah, I realized that it's actually not so easy to get out of it. I mean, I really put my hardest effort to completely cut ties and cut loose with chess, but I mean, at this point I've just got so many friends within chess, and I started getting these niggling feelings of, you know, my friends are getting stronger, I don't want to be left behind, I also want to kind of reach the maximum of my potential before I really make some kind of retirement. So until I reach that max potential, then I kind of want to keep going. That's my conclusion. What does ICL mean? I'm too much of a boomer to know this acronym. But Samsara says my games are way more interesting than this. I mean, to each their own, Samsara. I find this dull analysis very interesting. I mean, there's a book that got published recently called The World's Most Boring Chess Book. And I actually think it looks amazing. It's all about the isolated queen spawn and endgames that derive from it. I think it looks really fascinating, but that shows where my chess brain is at. But yeah, we're here to win. We're not here to play interesting chess. And actually, I got the advantage on several occasions. So, I mean, I think it was a decent game. And I like how I handled the opening with this e4. But why did I lose this advantage? I was +2. Yeah, I could have kept the knight on b6. So maybe that's something to consider. And this is actually an old principle of... I'll make a note of this as well, actually. I'll put leaving the knight on b6 as a pawn is an old Shereshevsky principle that you should not be retreating in this case, spending several tempo to trade a piece in your opponent's territory, because this piece is exerting good pressure and your focus should be on development. And there was a really nice chapter basically explaining this concept. And it actually, follows through exactly here. Bishop c4 is the better move than trying to deal with this knight on b6. So, that's a really nice point to keep in mind. But okay, we managed to look at just 3 games. We've got a lot more to look through, but I am keen to go through with this. And the reason why I bother to analyze these blitz games, even though most people wouldn't bother, is that, for instance, I was recently playing a game online, and I actually had a position very similar to this one, where I had the opportunity to take on b6 and actually play bishop c7, given that b5 can be met with bishop takes b5. So this was a motif that I didn't appreciate before I analyzed this game, and then during a bullet game, it was a bullet game. Like, I even had the whereabouts to actually just spot this move. So I think, like, just every time you analyze, every time you learn from your mistakes, I mean, maybe not everything sticks, but if you keep at it, eventually, especially if you're playing the same games over and over and over, eventually this stuff sticks. So, this was cool that I noticed that this came up. So, okay, next session we will take a look at more of these Chessmood games. I feel like I'm learning a lot from it. But for the time being, let's take a look at some shogi. And last thing I'd say is, if you are interested in playing in this Chessmood Grand Prix, it is on the 20th at 8 p.m, 20 o'clock UTC time every month. And you can join the Chess Lifestyle team by using the password C3 Venom, my Chessable course. And that's all lowercase, one word, C3 Venom. And there are some prizes to be won as being part of the team. And some big prizes to be won as a team if we make it to the finals, which I am somewhat optimistic for, given how close we got last month to getting some qualification points. So definitely go check out Chessmood Grand Prix and this Chess Lifestyle team, which you can find from any of my Lichess profiles. You can just search here and look on the right hand side and join the team. Okay, Ponziani Ghost actually isn't part of it, but Ponziani Master, my main account, you can join. Tricky, you say you don't know how to join the Chessmood Grand Prix. Maybe don't get banned on Lichess. Maybe this is a start. I realize, you said it wasn't your fault and this and that, but I mean, there must be a way you can make a Lichess account from a different IP address and play somehow. I don't know. I mean, like, how did you get banned so many times? Like, I don't get it. But it's just tough luck. But I mean, also Tricky. I really don't understand. How you got banned and what the specifics were. I'm trying to remember. I think you even explained some of it. But I mean, Lichess doesn't ban people for no reason. So if you're fooling around to get banned, I mean, like, it's your own fault as far as I'm concerned. So Leopard says, I was playing a stronger player and I was winning, and then got nervous. My opponent went for stalemate, and then we have to play a blitz. Damn, so you blundered a stalemate and had to play a blitz, and then I guess you lost the blitz playoff. Yeah, I've definitely blundered stalemate in competitive play before. Actually, even recently in this Malaysian rapid play team tournament in the first round, I was playing like a 1500, and I literally blundered a stalemate trick, which was crazy. And I go into detail on if you're curious about the story. I uploaded this video. It's like an hour long, going through my game analysis at the Malaysian Team Rapid Play, like several months ago. Yeah, that was an amazing tournament. But yeah, starts off with a stalemate. So, even someone as well versed as me can have these moments of madness and slip. Oh, I just saw the comment that you said he destroyed you. Yeah, that's a bit of a yikes. But yeah, it happens. And you just have to learn. You just have to learn and like try and reduce the possibility of these mistakes. I mean, they're still going to happen from time to time, but yeah, the game is tough. Shogi feels more complicated than chess. I mean, it really depends on what your metric is for complications. I mean, in terms of like combinational play, I think shogi does have that slightly more wider. It's not maybe even width, but because maybe there's more concrete aspects to the combinations, it means that you can actually calculate deeper, which actually makes it simpler in one sense because there's less quiet moves to calculate like in chess. But the fact that the lines can just go horrendously deep, I mean, like professional players are calculating 50 moves deep. Like, no chess player is calculating 50 moves deep. There's no need to calculate 50 moves deep. But in shogi you can, and in shogi you might have to, right? So, okay, and I should clarify actually 50 moves deep in shogi really means 25 moves deep in chess. But still, 25 moves deep is ridiculous. But just normal for shogi professionals. So in that sense, it's harder. But in terms of simplicity, I think the game is a little bit more one dynamic, and in that way, it makes it easier to play. You for sure still have your different styles of shogi player, but I think the art of attack and defense is just more integral to the game. Whereas like players who suck at attack and defense, like me, we can kind of avoid it in chess by just playing like slow positional grinds and winning this way. Okay, so Tricky, you say you've got this Hans Niemann history of cheating when you were little, but I assure you, Lichess would not ban a player from having old chess cheating games. Like, it has to be something that happened recently at the time where you got banned. Unless they have changed their system of detecting cheats since 3 years ago, which maybe it's the case. But, like, I literally have been on a meeting with the anti-cheating board, so I know how it runs and I know exactly how their systems work, and they don't ban people lightly. So like, I really don't know what you did to mess up, but yeah, I mean, it definitely sucks. And of course there are going to be cases of false positives, and maybe like you are absolutely innocent and there's nothing you did that was a cause to mess it up, but I really don't know. Yeah, you got banned for a sus game, and because you've cheated before. I mean, I don't think it's the cheating before that caused it. I mean, it must be the sus game that caused it, or maybe multiple sus games that caused it. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, Tricky, like, I remember you played me in the C3 Venom Simul, and the Leningrad Dutch game that you played was so flawless. I mean, even I had suspicions. I mean, I take your word for it that you didn't cheat in that game. But I mean, like, it was literally an absolutely GM level flawless game. And when you offer me a draw at the end, because, you're feeling bad for playing so well and beating me or something like this, like, I mean, that also gets flagged up in the system. I mean, the only players I've ever played to play a flawless game and then offer me a draw or something are players who cheated. So all of this, like, data gets put into the system, and they kind of gather, like, a pretty beyond all reasonable doubt that a player has cheated. But, okay, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, like, I can only take your word for it that, you weren't cheating, and yeah. But yeah, I mean, it does suck. It does suck that you can't make use of this wonderful website because I mean, Lichess is really great. But yeah, moving on from this first topic, let's have a look at some shogi. So, in shogi, as I mentioned, it's a lot more concrete of a game. So you actually have this whole, huge aspect of training shogi called tsume shogi. And tsume is basically like your kind of like forced checkmate puzzles, but there's a real emphasis in the study of tsume. And in chess, I don't think there's as big of an emphasis to study your forced checkmate combinations. And also in tsume, the thing is, like, let's say you've got like a forced checkmate in 2, but it actually takes maybe 5 or 6 moves, as long as the theme of checkmate is still a checkmate in 2, but the opponent can throw in some meaningless blocks or something like this. I think the meaningless blocks don't count towards the tsume total. So a tsume in 2 is basically like 2 legit moves before giving checkmate. It's kind of like the definition. So you should always train your tsume, and I think we're going to do a set of tsume combinations just to warm up. And yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm representing Great Britain too, and I may or may not be playing this giant blitz tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think he's seen my message. So I mean, I'm gonna wake up for the match, and probably he's not gonna be there. You know what I'll even do? Let me just decide an update for tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll see. I mean, if we play tomorrow, then we play tomorrow. If we don't, then we don't. Yeah. I'll set this as the new time because right now it's suggesting that I'm playing at a different time. So I'll suggest this as a new time and see if we get to play at this time. But for now, okay, let's do a tsume set. Okay, so problem collections, and let's make the difficulty nice and easy. Let's do some tsume in 3, which they consider very easy, but I don't consider these easy at all. I mean, honestly, that's really cool. Even that Lichess is even offering you a chance. I mean, if they're beyond all reasonable doubt that like your account has suspicious activity, I mean, to give a chance is very cool. But yeah, I hope that whatever you are doing, like you're going to avoid it next time around. But okay, let's solve some tsume. So okay, this is a horse. We can take the gold and drop the gold. So let's start the speed. I mean, I'm not gonna do all 180 exercises. There's no way, but we can try. Okay, so this is sacrifice the dragon, drop the knight with mate. If any of you are curious about what are the pieces that I'm using, you're welcome to ask and I can explain what these pieces mean. Also, one thing I'm very curious about is why chess players don't have better life intuition. Because I see it really being a big problem for many players. That somehow they have amazing intuition in chess, but then they struggle in everyday life. And it's like, for instance, yesterday I had a very exciting showdown with a mosquito. I discovered a mosquito in my flat in the morning, and it was a huge, nasty mosquito. Like, it looked mean. It was moving fast as well. Like, I even hesitated to believe it was a mosquito just of how quick it was moving. It was like a proper assassin. And I didn't manage to kill it. But later that evening, I saw the mosquito again. It was the same one. And I tried to kill it again, and I missed it. And then the third time, I was in bed, and I was getting ready to sleep. And I saw it on like the board of my bed, and it was like jumping close to me. It was like a proper aggressive one, right? And I whacked the bedboard, and I either like hit it or I don't know exactly, but I see the mosquito like land on its back, legs like kind of in the air, and it looked like, I mean, the legs were like jittering just the tiniest of bits. But that's kind of like what happens when they're like on the brink of death, right? So rather than slap this mosquito that I'm sure has been feasting on me, and like get blood all over the bedsheet, the white bedsheet covers, I decided to quickly grab a tissue to go kill the mosquito. But I was trying to be quick because I knew that maybe this mosquito was just stunned, maybe it wasn't completely dead. And by the time I got back to the bed, it must have been literally just a space for a few seconds, the mosquito was already on its legs, like it's already like turned upright, and just as I get back, it suddenly starts flying away. And I was just like, for God's sake, I have missed the chance to kill this like mosquito. And I feel like this is great life intuition. I mean, like, it's a great opportunity to learn. It's like, next time I am dealing with a mean mosquito and I get the chance to kill it, I'm not taking my chance. I'm going to kill that mosquito down on the spot. Like if I end it. And it's a bit like a chess principle, right? Like when you are winning a position and your opponent is like on the brink of death, if you start to relax and you start to like chill out, then they might find a chance to recover. But that's why you need to focus until the end, and you don't allow them to escape, right? So this was funny, and actually that night I had 3 huge bites. I had one on my arm, one on my thigh, and one on my foot. They were huge. They were huge bites because this mosquito was pissed, right? I mean, I almost killed it. It knew it almost died, and it was out for revenge, right? So yeah, I got really attacked in the night. And the next day I was like, screw this. I'm going to kill this mosquito one way or another. So I'm searching my flat for the mosquito, and I can't find it. So I end up going to the bathroom, and it comes out, right? So I immediately shut the door. I lock myself in with the bathroom, and I'm like, I am not leaving this bathroom till I kill this damn mosquito. And it took me 3 whole tries. 3 whole tries of like finding the mosquito zipping out, me trying to catch it, and then it like losing my line of sight and hiding again. This mosquito was a veteran of the game. And yeah, the third time I managed to get it. I didn't even kill it cleanly. Again, I stunned it, but this time I made sure, no hesitation, death to that mosquito. And yeah, it was very, very thick with blood because yeah, as I said, it had an amazing feast on me the night before. But yeah, I managed to win. So, never give up, always fight and learn from your mistakes. I mean, like, I don't understand why, like, chess players who are needing and repeatedly learning from their mistakes within the game struggle to learn from their mistakes in real life and improve their life intuition. I mean, like, I don't know how else you get by, because for me, I cannot get by without having good life intuition. Like, it's simply, I'm too lazy to calculate. I mean, I don't calculate. I mean, I do calculate now because I realize I have to, but you know what I mean? I mean, like literally, I mean, at least in chess, like, there are possibilities to calculate and be successful. But in life, it's, like, so difficult to calculate things. Like, there's like, so many variables to take into consideration, whereas in chess, it's, like, a little bit more limited. But with intuition, I feel like you're not really held back by the number of variables. You can kind of just catch a vibe of like what you should do. And I feel like, maybe I will get trolled by a mosquito once more, or maybe twice more, but, there'll come a point where I stop getting, outsmarted by a mosquito, I believe that I have the capacity for that day to come. That's a mate as well. But yeah, that's just a random thought. And I remember, like, I told an international master friend of mine that, like, if we are good at solving problems in chess, time to start solving problems in real life. And he was like, damn, I've never thought about that. And I was like, how have you got to this age and never thought about, like, treating life like chess? Like, come on, you're an IM, for God's sake. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, that's a mate. Chessboard's starting to look sus. Yeah. Definitely a little bit sus. Honestly, it's kind of cool that in shogi you also have a bishop, which is also limited by its color. But there are no colors in shogi. So that's kind of cool. I just saw the donation, Averator. Thank you so much for supporting. Appreciate the support. But you don't have to. You don't have to. I appreciate everyone's support, no matter the donations or not. I appreciate you all just being here and chatting. Yeah, let me see what your guys' comments are about the mosquito. Yeah, Average Hater, you just missed a great story about me versus a mosquito. I would 100% recommend you have a listen if you want. Yeah, I didn't mate the mosquito fast enough. Simply as that. I allowed it to have a chance to fight back. Average Malaysia moment, for real. What is bro talking about? I mean, this is why I am so glad this is a small-time YouTube channel, because then I can get away with this kind of nonsense. I've arrived for life analysis. Michael 1-0 mosquito. Exactly. You got it, Peter. Actually, Peter, how is your chess tournament going? I haven't had the chance to ask. I would love to hear how it's going, and also how did the game against the 2600 go? Like, please send all the details here. For anyone who doesn't know, Peter is playing in an over-the-board classical tournament as we speak. So I'm very curious to hear how that is going. But yeah, the reason why this is not chess is because I possibly have a shogi match tomorrow, and that is why I am doing some last-minute preparation to just see some tactics and remind myself how to play. Yeah, that's mate. So if the king goes here, I drop rook here. If the king went here, I dropped rook here. So this is checkmate. And all of these exercises are checkmate in 2. This one is my pawn. I just assumed it was my opponent's pawn, so I can actually drop rook here. King takes, and silver drops back with the mate. Also, Average Hater, I think I reckon I have the chance to get 2700 bullet. Maybe this trip. Like, I really feel like I've got the vibes. I've just got to have more consistency in my personal life. Like, if I have some good sleep and good diet, maybe if I manage to exercise, I reckon I can hit 2700 bullet. I really think I've got the capacity now. It's like there was a point where 2500 bullet was like my absolute ceiling. Now 2600 is my current peak rating, but my like plateau, like my kind of like rating floor is 2550, which means that I can push for 2650 at least as a peak. And it makes me believe that I can hit 2700, like if I really have a good day. And because Bullet is like, has so much like fluctuations in form, I reckon I can do it. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned is what I'm trying to say. Nice easy one. Dropping silver with mate. So if I drop silver check, then they can take my knight, and then I don't have a mate. So, and I think tsume it's all checks as well. I think that's another fact about tsume, because check plays such an important role in shogi that you just need to get used to spotting these forcing continuations, which I guess is very important in chess as well. I probably promote to gold. Yeah, that's got to be it. Or is it? Yeah, the king can't take because it's a dragon, right? So the lance has to take, and then silver drop with checkmate. Yeah. Okay, that's just dropping lance here. And then the pawn is protected and covers checkmate. Wow, on 4.5 out of 6. Fantastic, Peter. Beat a young 2360 FM today. Let's go. Let's go. Incredible. Incredible. Skirt asks, do you have an OTB shogi club that you go to? I actually do here in Malaysia. I do, but I actually haven't been. I've been... The problem is that the shogi club is exactly the same time as the local chess club I play at. So I always have to decide between shogi and chess. And so far I've gone to chess every time. So that's the struggle. PT, your peak is 2740 something. Bullet, that's insane. Congratulations. I mean, I reckon I can. I mean, the difference between us is that, I mean, your tactics are just way stronger than mine, and I do think having sharp tactics is an asset in Bullet. So I kind of make up for my lack of tactics with other Bullet skills, but somehow I reckon I can still do it. Like, it's gonna be close, but I reckon I've got the potential. Did you do the Leech's Daily Puzzle? I recommended it. I did not, Jan. I don't think I've seen your most recent messages. But okay, that's cool to see. I mean, will I still be able to access it tomorrow? Did you send the FEN? Oh, the daily puzzle is easy? Oh. Now I'm conflicted. Night promotion, yeah. Okay, nice skirt. And Peter says, this is what chess sounds like to people who don't know the rules. Yeah, I guess so. Kill your chess opponents like a mosquito. Got it. Exactly, Jan. I'm glad you went back to listen to the story. I was so determined to kill this mosquito. And I told a friend about it as well, and she was just like, why are you so why are you so bothered? like it's as if I got like, absolutely obsessed with like, trying to make sure that I one up this mosquito. I mean, I think I was just like so triggered by the fact that I got absolutely outplayed by a mosquito. It's like I could not rest till that mosquito was killed. Somehow I mean, despite going pretty slowly with these exercises, I feel like I'm actually sharper than I thought I would be. Oh, that's a nice mate. So the behind the silver is quite vulnerable. Wait, what? Why is this not? Oh, I always forget how the horse and dragon move. Like, I'm thinking, why can't the horse just move here and checkmate? But yeah, the horse is basically like a bishop, because it's a promoted bishop. But it also controls all the squares around it like a king. And the dragon is a promoted rook, where it moves like a rook, but controls all the squares around it like a king. That's it. So yeah, the horse cannot move vertically, horizontally, like a rook. So probably then I need to move the bishop, move the horse out the way, reveal the lance with check, but where to move the horse? Yeah, I wanna push the king to the corner, right? So that means I have to go this way. Yeah, and then I get the mate. Nice. That's a nice one. So we can't drop gold here because of silver takes. So we need to drop the knight to lure either the silver forward so we can give mate, or lure the pawn forward so we can drop the gold where the pawn was with checkmate. So that's a nice theme. Oh, that's nice. So, that's another rule. You're not allowed to give checkmate with a pawn. Wait. Can you give checkmate by pushing a pawn? Because I know you can't give checkmate by dropping a pawn. Can you give checkmate by pushing a pawn in shogi? Because I know you can't drop a pawn with mate. Yeah, a pawn cannot be dropped. Once the pawn is dropped, the pawn can give checkmate. Okay, good to clear up that detail. So yeah, I can drop a pawn and then give checkmate. That's definitely fine. Check and then mate with the gold behind. Okay, nice. What are people saying in chat? Mosquito refuted, but Benoni never. Benoni will never die. I will die on the hill before Benoni dies. I saw one. The one without any drops. Yeah. The one that looked most like chess. Okay, nice job. Yeah, I mean, you get used to these after a while. The crazy thing about shogi is that there are so many chess players who would just be way happier as shogi players, but they just never discover the game. It's almost like a cruel fate that they never end up pursuing it. And I mean, it's also sad that, like, you know, shogi, at least on an international scale, is a lot smaller than chess. So even if you were to find out that shogi aligns with your personality and your playing style much better than chess, there's still not much you can do, because I mean, you can, like, you know, become like the best, you know, European or worldwide shogi player, but you're probably unlikely to make it as a professional in Japan, because I mean, you'd probably be starting the game quite late. Like, even Matthew Sadler, for instance, 2700 chess player, he's only an amateur free dan. And not even amateur free dan, that's like online free dan. I'm an online one dan. I'm not even that far away from Matthew Sadler. Okay, I mean, the difference between one dan online and free dan online is quite big. But still, it's not that impressive. And that's Matthew Sadler, like, taking shogi pretty seriously for a year. So, I mean, if you started in chess and you moved to shogi, it's very difficult to become a professional. And there's only been one non-Japanese player to become a professional shogi player. And she is a female professional as well. So this is also a lower level of qualification than your open professional. But there's actually never been a female open professional. I mean, I think the strongest female player is weaker than the bottom professional shogi players. And in shogi, there's also fewer professionals than there are in chess. If we compare, let's say, shogi professionals to grandmasters, I mean, there are fewer professionals than there are grandmasters, I think, even relatively speaking. Of course, there would be fewer because it's a smaller game, but even relatively speaking, there are fewer. Because in shogi, every year, they only accept a few people to enter into this professional sphere, and you've got like a huge number of semi-professionals kind of competing to get that right to qualify as a professional. And once you're a professional, it's actually a legit job. I mean, you get a salary, you play tournaments regularly, you compete in all the big events. I mean, it's not freelance like the life of a grandmaster in chess. So it's kind of like more of a big deal if you actually become a shogi professional. But yeah, there's one more thing I want to add about this. Why was I bringing this up? Oh yeah, the flip side is that it's hilarious that the shogi professionals can easily play chess and easily get somewhere with the game. And I mean, there's this classic case of Habu, one of the strongest shogi players. He's kind of the Ivanchuk of chess, where it's like, you know, he's no longer the best, but you know, in his prime, he was like this creative genius that everyone has a lot of love for. And Habu is an FM in chess of like 2400 rating. And the reason why he's not an IM is because he only ever played 2 tournaments. He's only ever played 2 tournaments in his life, and he already got FM from just these 2 tournaments. Because that's how strong he is at calculation. I mean, like, he just basically picked a repertoire that is just very sharp lines. He doesn't have any endgame knowledge, wins all of his games in the middle game, and yeah, IM. He even beat a grandmaster in his first tournament. I mean, it's just insane, the level of calculation of these guys. Like, as I said, like, they can calculate 25 chess moves deep and get it perfect. I mean, I don't know many chess players who can do that. And it's not like an easy, 25 moves. It's like 25 moves deep with variations upon variations and sidelines of, and the tree branches out like a monstrous tree, and the guys can just handle it because they're just that good. So, and I think one of the coolest things about shogi is like this interesting. Oh my god, it's 3:30 in the morning. I should probably sleep. But this interesting case of Fuji Sota, who is basically like the Magnus equivalent of shogi. And I'm so curious, like, is Magnus, relatively speaking, stronger as a chess player than Sota is as a shogi player? And I actually don't think so. I actually think Sota is just unbelievably so incredible at shogi. He's relatively stronger at shogi than he is with chess. So, I mean, shogi's got a really amazing culture, and I think anyone who gets into shogi is going to have a great time. But it's not for everyone. And I realized actually the hard way that it turns out that my shogi is even worse than my chess. And it was a hard fact to take after training every day for like 4 months straight. But yeah, that's it. I'm not going to have as fulfilling of a future in shogi as I will with chess. So I'm kind of destined to keep up with this game. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. It's a really beautiful game. I mean, I think it's more of a clean... It's kind of the game that chess wants to be, and chess isn't. I really think... I don't know if it's more beautiful, because I mean, chess has like some really beautiful aspects that shogi lacks. And I do think chess is the more complicated game of the two, at least going by my definition of complicated, which adds to its beauty, right? But yeah, it's a really tough one to say. I mean, they're both amazing games in their own right. But I definitely think shogi, like, yeah, as a game, like, probably it's even better suited to the average club player, to be honest. I think there's more potential for players to enjoy shogi than they enjoy chess. But the thing is, it's like, that's the thing. I mean, like, with the culture, the Eastern culture in Japan, it's just like they come across this absolutely brilliant revelation of shogi, and they're just not so bothered to make it like a worldwide thing. Whereas with chess, I mean, there's all this like notion of grow the game, and to be honest, like me as a person, I also don't really give a crap. I mean, like, with this YouTube channel, I mean, I've been approached by some pretty big editors to be like, oh, like, we think that you could be the next big thing. We've had like, experience editing this person's channel and that person. I'm just like, appreciate the vouch and confidence, but I just really don't. I just don't care enough, I think, to like put in that grind. I'm just very happy to just do what I'm doing now, and if it grows organically, it grows organically. And I mean, that's kind of been like the mentality of the shogi professionals. They're not gatekeeping it, but they're just like, we don't have any kind of desire to make it a worldwide thing, because we're very happy to preserve whatever culture they've established already, and I think it's cool. And they're happy for it to grow organically, and when like some stuff happens internationally, they're more than happy to help out. They just don't go out of their way to make it a big deal, which I kind of find cool as well. And actually, I think that's why Japan is just such a cool place in general, is because they've preserved so many aspects of their culture, because they see the way the world is kind of shaping. And they're just like, you know what? We're happy with what we're doing. We don't really need to like jump in on all of this, like, new kind of ways of life. And I kind of agree. Like, just because it's new and popular and stuff, like, doesn't mean it's necessarily any better. So yeah. I mean, hey, I'm allowed to be philosophical at this time of night. I mean, it's literally 3:30 in the morning. Give me a break. Okay, and on that note, guys, I mean, we've solved 30 exercises. I think that's a good amount. I think we should stop my rambling here. But yeah, I might, in fact, be playing a tournament tomorrow. Let's see if Giant Blitz has made any mention of this match. Probably not. Who knows? We're going to see what happens. And yeah, on that note, I think I'm going to call it a day. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Lil Bro got so excited to talk about shogi. You're damn right. I do have a very soft spot for this game. I really do love this game. I mean, it's honestly just such a wholesome community. I mean, literally, it's like... It's literally so perfect, but ultimately, yeah, I'm not a shogi player, I'm a chess player, so I'm stuck with the degenerates who are toxic as heck, but, it is what it is. It kind of makes it more fun and fierce as well, so, Skirt, have you joined the British shogi group? Because there are... I think monthly or like every 2 months, they organize a meetup in London. So if you haven't joined the British shogi group, you need to join it. I mean, I can, if you message my Lichess Ponziani Master or Ponziani Ghost, I can send you the Discord link to join, and I would recommend you go, because I mean they do struggle for participants when they do organize a session. So. Yeah, highly recommend you go join that and stay in the loop. You're going to try and become a decent player in chess and shogi. I mean, for me, I'm kind of happy where I'm at. I'm kind of at like 2000 online level at shogi. That's how I honestly see myself, which is not bad. Which is not bad at all. And I mean, that's through like, 3-4 months of super hard work, and then just, my chess skills carrying through. And I think 2000 online is a pretty nice club player level to be at. And yeah, I don't think I've got many ambitions to get stronger, at least until I have a proper retirement with chess, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah, when you saw the shogi match you uploaded, which shogi match did you see? Was it the one against It's Nyrock? Or was it the match against... Lily Lionmane. And for the record, actually, if you enjoyed my match against It's Nyrock, you have to check out his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel if he's still got some old VODs on there. Because if you like me as a personality, you'll love It's Nyrock. Like, I swear to God, if I had to watch my own streams, I think I'd get bored. But if I watched, I could, like, the only person I've ever been able to watch stream is It's Nyrock. He's, like, just such an amazing dude. Like, every time I watch, it's just entertaining. And I mean, like, he actually puts effort into his streams. I mean, me, I just basically train for my own selfish benefit and, you know, okay, make some entertaining stories here or there. But, I mean, It's Nyrock streams are just, like, actual gold. Like I really miss when he was streaming regularly. Like, really, as a shogi player, yeah, you have to watch his streams. Like, highly recommend it. What's the website? The website is Play Shogi. It's a really great website for practicing tsume and doing puzzles. That's all I really use it for, but it's pretty nice. Shogi is way more dynamic than chess, and someone lower rated has more chance to beat someone higher. There's a lot of possible moves per time. Yeah, I agree. Way more dynamic. I mean, that's like how the game is like orientated. Like, there's a lot more emphasis on attack and defense, a lot more emphasis on initiative, a lot more emphasis on dynamics, which is why I suck. Right? I mean, like, I'm ultimately better in areas of chess where hard work pays off and like understanding pays off, which of course is important in shogi as well. And there's a lot of shogi theory and principles and strategy, but you need proficiency in dynamic play, which, yeah, is something that is not inherently to me. Nice, Lefus. Appreciate the support as always. Have you played offline shogi tournaments? I don't know what an offline shogi tournament is. Do you mean like some kind of correspondence shogi? I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, of course I know it's a thing, because on Lee Shogi it's an option as well. But no, I don't do that. I mean, I am currently playing a couple correspondence games with an old friend of mine who, well, current friend of mine as well. I don't know why I'm saying old, but yeah, he's the only guy I've ever played correspondence with, because somehow he gives me the vibe of someone who just plays correspondence and we just have good correspondence games. Like, it's not really my thing, but we have good correspondence games. So I do play some correspondence in chess. What's his name? His name is Sean, and we're friends from university. He's also a chess player. Yeah, the match against him. Yeah, against It's Nyrock. I'm going to watch the streams too, but I watched all the videos you uploaded of Shogi too. Nice. Trying to understand what was happening, kind of failing. Yeah, no, you'll get there. You'll get there, for sure. I mean, I give it a week for any chess player to really get to grips with Shogi, and then it's the real start of some fun. Oh, offline means over the board. Okay, yeah, no, I'm just being an idiot. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have. Actually, I had the most insane provisional starting rating of a free Dan online, which is probably equivalent to 2300, 2400 online level, but an over the world rating of that, which is hilarious. Because I played two tournaments. I played a London tournament and I played a tournament in Italy. And in London, I scored 3 out of 5. And in Italy, I scored 6 out of 7. And I had this most amazing provisional free Dan rating. And then I came crashing down into reality when I played in the Europeans, where I got absolutely hammered and I dropped 200 rating points. So the funny thing was I actually got promoted to a 1 Dan because, yeah, that's the cool thing with shogi ratings as well. They don't just base your worth on your single rating. They also base your worth on your Dan ranking. So you get a Dan ranking as well as your rating. And basically, you only get your Dan rankings legitimized once you play enough games at a certain level. So I kind of like it as well. It's like, you know, it forces, you know, let's say a player who gets FM after like one tournament, like, you know, that's not really the same as an FM who consistently beats strong players over a certain, you know, length of time, right? So I like this extra element. So it's like, you know, you can have an FM that is 1 Dan or an FM that is 3 Dan. There's a difference, right? So, okay, I lost a bunch of rating. I also qualified for 1 Dan. So I'm a 1 Dan over the board rating as well. I'm also 1 Dan online, so probably my over the board rating is still a bit inflated compared to what I really am. But yeah, I had the most amazing first 2 tournaments, and yeah, I had a lot of luck go my way. Yeah, actually, I mean, like one game, I beat a former European champion, which is just utterly insane to even say those words. But he basically made an elementary blunder in the opening, because as a former European champion, he wasn't well versed with the modern day theory, and I kind of tricked him and got like essentially equivalent of like a +3 advantage in chess, and I managed to play like an absolute beast and keep that +3 advantage for the rest of the game and win. I mean, okay, I made some inaccuracies, but I basically didn't let my advantage slip, and I managed to win. So this gave me a huge boost in my provisional rating. And also in the Italy tournament, I had a game against a very strong player who actually calculated a checkmate against me. And as he went to press the clock, he missed the clock, and I won on time. So that was also a very lucky win. So, I mean, these 2 wins against very high-rated players like really boosted my provisional. But yeah, it also added a lot of pressure to me as well, because I was like, holy crap, I have like the most insane provisional rating, and I want to live up to that expectation. It's like, imagine getting a starting FIDE of like 2300, but playing like a 2000. You feel like you don't even want to show up in tournaments because you're just going to lose that rating. And that's exactly what I did. I wasn't able to, get good enough before that 2300, before I played the Europeans. And also at the time I played that Europeans, like I was kind of in 2 minds about like getting back into chess. So like I really wasn't, I literally played like a chess tournament in Dortmund just before my shogi European. So my headspace was also not right. So yeah, it was it was an interesting experience. Let's put it that way. But yeah, maybe I even have a match tomorrow morning in approximately 7 hours. So I better get some sleep, guys. And I'll quickly answer these questions before I end the stream. But yeah, it's been a fun stream. Oh, you mean the name of the shogi guy we should watch? He's called It's Nyrock, ITSNYROC, and his name is Alex. Yeah, It's Nyrock. Let me just type it in on Google. Yeah, It's Nyrock. Go check out his streams. Like really cool guy. What's your favorite shogi castle? God, as an Urashino player, I don't think I feel qualified to say one. Probably a right Mino. Just keep it simple. Like, no, left Mino. I play left Mino sometimes. I play Urashino and I sometimes play left Mino. I don't even know the Japanese name for the setup I play for. But I set up a left Mino, which is kind of rare. But I like left Mino. What are your views on capital punishment? Bro, I'm too uneducated to know what capital punishment means. Is capital punishment like some, like, I don't know, state-imposed punishment that is, I don't know, a very serious punishment? I don't know. Capital punishment sounds, probably should know what that means. There are no streams on his channel. That is actually so sad. If it's all deleted from his Twitch. I guess, I mean, Twitch doesn't save them, right? But check out his YouTube channel. I mean, you can find his YouTube, and I'm sure he's got some saved VODs. Like, it's really fun. Oh god, Tricky saying Memento Mori asking the real questions here means probably Tricky knows what capital punishment means, which means I should probably know what it means as well. Leper says, right now I'm giving 1 to 2 hours to remember openings in chess because I'm embarrassed I forgot everything. After that I'll be trying to learn shogi and improve in chess. Well, Lepers, if you ever fancy learning some chess openings, I mean, I am actually, a chess author nowadays, and I have an opening course on Chessable, which is a white repertoire. I also have a YouTube repertoire, which is on the Benoni, and only one very dedicated YouTube viewer of my channel has mustered up the confidence and courage to give it a shot. And this Benoni course is a repertoire against 1d4. And finally, my repertoire against 1e4 is going live in a couple months on Chessable as well. And I collaborated with a grandmaster. So if you fancy any of these openings, be sure to give them a shot. I would appreciate that kind of support more than anything, because I mean these projects, like, I really have put serious effort in. I mean, if you enjoy these like YouTube streams and videos, I mean, like, that content is really on another level, I think, in terms of like educational content. Oh, capital punishment is just a death penalty. I see. What is my view on death penalty? Okay, let me give us a summary of this. I mean, in principle, morally speaking, yes, sure. Practically speaking, no, terrible idea. I think that's a pretty based take, and I don't think it's very controversial. I think, like, I don't really see many people arguing that, but maybe people will argue that. I don't know. Who knows? How do I get it? The YouTube course? I do not have a 1e4 course. I have a lot of I have a lot of hate towards 1e4 in my C3 Venom course. So you can get my e4 takes there. In terms of the YouTube course, you need to become a YouTube member of a Chess Gym Rat 2.0 level and above, which is £4.99 a month, and that gets you access to the videos, which is around 10 hours worth of content, and is basically lessons of me giving a 1700 student lessons on the Benoni. And I think it's a really good effort, and I share the Lichess PGN files on there as well. So yeah, you can definitely check that out if you're interested. But of course, yeah, you're welcome to consume everything I do for free. Like, I am getting by. It's okay. Life is okay. And yeah, on that note, guys, I am gonna call it a day. I am very, very sleepy, and I may have a shogi match to wake up to. So on that note, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the support as always. And see you guys in a stream on Friday. Okay, bye.